Hey, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Scents of South Jersey with me, Kellen, for another fragrance video. Today, what I wanted to do, as we are dead in the middle of winter here, coming towards the end of December, right before Christmas, or after, depending on when you're actually watching this video. But anyway, what I wanted to do is give you guys 10 fragrances for the winter time here. 2024 going into 2025 too. So these are the picks. A lot of these are going to be different from what I've usually reviewed or spoke about in my channel. Things I've tried this year that I think really do work well for the cool weather, and of course some classics as well too. Before we jump into the video, if it's your first time here, make sure to go ahead and subscribe, guys. We are growing every time I make a video. I see the subscribers increase, and I can't thank you all enough. If you have an Instagram page, go ahead and check out the Scents of South Jersey Instagram page for news and updates on the channel, photos of fragrances from my collection, when the videos are going to drop, and of course any way to contact me. As I've been mentioning and will continue to mention in all my videos, is if you have an interest in purchasing any sort of fragrances that you've seen on my channel, go check out my Mercari page, because I'm listing a lot of things, discontinued stuff, rare stuff, things I'm no longer wearing that I'd rather sell off to then make room for new fragrances to make new content about too. So check that out. The link will be in the description for that, as well as the links for the Masudo button-down shirts and the Aurelius Apparel fitness shirts too. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into this video of 10 fragrances for the winter. Okay, the first one is pretty funny because I bought it in the summer and I wore the hell out of it in the summer, and I love it. And you really could wear it any time of year. And again, any of these you can wear whenever you want, but I think they do work well in the winter time as in terms of something that you want to pick to last long. And that's the SOSJ Elixir. This is a 60 ml bottle. You can sort of see the fill line. It's like right there. One or two sprays will do it. It smells like a mix of a modern Sauvage Eau de Toilette, but like just much deeper, darker, and richer. Some people say Drakkar Noir vibes to it. I don't necessarily get that. It's almost hard to, it's very hard to describe what this smells like, but it's an incredible scent. Lasts a long time, smells really good. Skin, clothes, doesn't matter. It'll cut through the cold. It's a perfect choice for wintertime. I think I wore it in the summertime. I loved it then too. Some people might find that a little heavy. I hate to pigeonhole things for seasons, but I think this does work well in the cold, and I'm going to continue to wear it. This is something that I hope that they continue to make. I could see this, if this were ever discontinued, people would be all over it, but I think it's going to be here for a while now. But the unfortunate side is it's pretty pricey, but it is worth it, and the quality speaks for itself with SOSJ Elixir by Dior. Okay, up next was a scent I was sent for to try and to experience and talk about from JR Fragrances, and that is Tom Ford's Noir Extreme Parfum, the gold bottle too. This is like a spicy, powdery, gentleman scent. It's like, it was actually a little bit lighter than I initially thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit more woodier, but it's got some spice, and then there's just sort of like this talcum powder smell. It's almost like a dark, really high-end barbershop type of scent, but does work really well in the cool weather. I know there's the regular Noir Extreme, but this is the Parfum version, and maybe that's where it gets that little powdery scent. I don't think I've actually tried the original one before, but I did enjoy this one a lot and was thankful to JR Fragrances for letting me try this. And again, it's Tom Ford. You can never go wrong with the quality, but this one, good scent for maybe daytime, brisk, cool weather like that would be a nice scent, or if you want to wear it out at night too, it'll work on either one of those situations, but reminds me of something I would definitely wear in the cold weather. Okay, coming in at number 3, I'm going to go with Acqua di Gio Profumo. If you love the original Acqua di Gio, which I do, but you love a darker incense scent, this is it. This could be the flanker that's better than the original. I go back and forth. It's sort of hard to come by, but I love this one. It lasts forever. It smells amazing. It's definitely going to be one of those quote compliment getter fragrances. I think I've gotten many with this, just especially when I would wear it to work. And it's versatile too, daytime, nighttime, going out. It's sort of a showstopper type of fragrance, but it's that incense, that injection of that, which reminds me of the cooler weather. And I remember when I was encouraged to buy this one, the person told me, goes, just wait till you wear it in the wintertime, and they were absolutely correct. Yeah, it smells awesome and it cuts through the cold. if you can get a bottle of it. I know they have the Parfum now, which is very, very similar too. It's sort of like a little gimmick maybe Armani's doing, discontinue something, re-release it as something else. But the original Profumo is one that I absolutely love and is perfect for the cooler weather. Okay, fragrance number 4, let's bring it back to Tom Ford with Tuscan Leather. This stuff smells so good. The leather in it is super realistic, and then it sort of has a little bit of a, some people say dried fruit dry down, like a raspberry note. I just love it. I love the dry down, and it lasts so much. It just, to me, it smells like a very realistic leather, whether it's a jacket or a nice, duffel bag that's leather. It smells great, but it lasts really a long time on clothing, especially clothing, and it is great for the cooler weather. If you were to wear this in the warmer weather, it may be heavier, but if you just did like one or two sprays, it would probably work. But smelling this in the air especially is absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to adjunct this with this, the rare Tuscan Leather Intense, again, sent to me by JR Fragrances to test out and wear and compare. And honestly, they are very similar, except for the opening of this is straight diesel fuel. And it's so, I remember wearing this, and then I'm like, let me just throw a little of the Intense on top of it. And I almost had a headache. Like, don't combine them, number one. And don't overspray this one because the opening is so strong. It's very fuel-like. You get that gasoline, diesel fuel, whatever fuel you want to compare it to, kerosene, doesn't matter. But then when it dries down, in my opinion, they're very, very close. In fact, probably the same thing. It just, the opening with this is ridiculously strong. So this is going to be a 2-for-1 in this count here on fragrance number 4. But either one will do really well for the winter if you can get this. But I know this is still in production. All right, coming in at number 5, this is a fragrance from the house of Dunhill. This is Dunhill's Icon Absolute. If you love Tom Ford's Oud Wood or fragrances like that, but you want something a little rougher, a little bit more rugged and spicy, this is an amazing choice to pick. Obviously, Dunhill, they're a beautiful bottle. I've worn the hell out of this bottle. I don't know how much is left in there, but I've been spraying it. I put it on daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter to me. It smells so good, and it's a great alternative, especially on cost, when it comes to something like a Tom Ford fragrance or an Oud Wood. Now, I know that there's many of the Middle Eastern fragrances that clone the Oud Woods and Tuscan Leathers, etc., but this stuff, great alternative. Definitely inspired by Oud Wood, but it takes its own twist on it. It doesn't make it an exact clone. Again, a spicier, more rugged smell, and then when it dries down, I think it's very, very, very classy and a great scent for the winter, and it's black and gold. Who can beat that color scheme? Okay, fragrance number 6. Guys, I mentioned this in my fall video, and I said I was going to put it in my winter video, and I am. And that's Creed's Royal Oud. Man, this is a woody, rough, rugged scent, there's a little bit of sweetness in there. And if you can remember back to when I did my first sampling of this, and the sample, like, it was just a little spritz that came out, and I had it dry down on my hand, and I felt it was too sweet, but I still felt like I didn't get the full experience, so I sort of half blindly bought the bottle, but I'm so happy I did, and look how much I've used. Creed's Royal Oud is amazing. Just such a great, I'll get some of that in the air, man. That stuff, it's that distinct opening. Again, Creed's opening, I always will say this, I'll die on this hill, is the best part of any Creed fragrance is the opening. But this one is just that it's like a really clean woodiness, not too much of a stinky oud. Whatever oud is in there, they did it very well, but this is perfect for the wintertime. Lasts so long. All of these are great performers, and I really enjoy this fragrance a lot. I'm so happy I bought the bottle, and it's very classy, masculine, woody, dark scent. Okay, fragrance number 7 on this list is a new addition. I want to thank my friend Brett, who sent me some samples of several different niche fragrances, some imaginary authors, things I've never smelled before. Some were interesting, some smelled like really realistic, food almost. But one he sent me was a sample from the House of Memo Paris, and it was Sicilian leather, and I liked it so much I just immediately bought a bottle. I think right off Fragrance Net, it was a good deal compared to what they normally cost. And guys, this stuff definitely could be all year, but I'm wearing it in the winter, and I've been wearing it a decent amount. If you like a spiced citrus, kind of like, imagine like taking a lemon or citrus rind, maybe an orange, and you're just twisting out the rind so enough of the juice or spray, the zest goes on, and then it's smeared on a piece of realistic smelling leather, or like a realistic smell of actual leather. That's what this smells like. It smells so good. It performs. It's super classy. And that's the best way I can describe it, is a citrus leather, and it's done very well. It's my first ever from this house. Look at that really cool bottle. Just the old Roman pillars there from left in Sicily. And I looked into Italian leather, but that one had a tomato leaf note, and I decided if I'm gonna, and I only had a little dab on sample of this, so I figured let me stick with this one, but I'm so happy I did. It's an amazing scent, and it'll definitely be something I'm gonna wear throughout the year. Okay, fragrance number 8, we have Jean Paul Gaultier's La Male Elixir. So this one is an incredible performer. And it's a very rich, spicy take on the original La Male. And La Male is one that I have nostalgic feelings for, because it was my signature scent for years, all I wore for a really long time. This one, though, takes it even further. It can be overwhelming on the vanilla if you spray too much of it, and I know vanilla usually isn't something that I like, but I sort of gave it a pass with this one, because it's like underneath that is the original JPG La Male for me, and I really liked it when I put it on, but it does last really long. It's a high quality fragrance. It can be a little bit sweet, but I think just a few sprays of this, under your shirt, and this thing is like a 24-hour performer. It lasts so long, and it's the Elixir version. Wanted to try it. Really cool bottle, like the gold scheme. I always like gold. So if you are really averse to sweet vanilla and you like to spray heavy, this one probably isn't going to be your thing. I can't do too much of it. Too much of it is overwhelming, but enough of it to where it'll last. You spray it on some clothes or under your shirt. I think it smells really nice, and I've been wearing a lot of it, especially in the cool weather since I got it. I think I got it back in, I'm going to say late October, but definitely one that's perfect for the wintertime. Okay, let's take it back super old school here for fragrance number 9. This is from the house of Oscar de la Renta. This is Pour Louis, and I got a vintage version here. I'm so happy I bought this vintage version. This is probably one of the best smelling old school fougères that are out there. It's a little bit, I think, easier going than, say, some of the more rugged or sharp ones, say like an Azzaro Pour Homme or a Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, but it's in that same wheelhouse, and it lasts a long time. I think it's one of the best performers of the classics. It's up there with things like a Koros or something, and they still make it today. If you can get a vintage one, great. If not, I think the current one is really good, and I know I did a side-by-side comparison to it, but perfect for the cooler weather. Again, I've worn it all time of year, but I think when I put this on, and you want to put it on in the brisk cold weather, especially smelling it in the air, it has this particular distinct scent that is so noticeable, and it's so classy and classic, in terms of an old masculine scent. So if you haven't tried this one, definitely check it out. Oscar de la Renta's Pour Louis. Okay, and fragrance number 10, you can't have a list of cold weather scents, a list of any scents really, without mentioning one of the kings, and that's Polo for Men by Ralph Lauren. This is a vintage bottle. I'm coming down to my final third of the bottle. There's nothing that beats that pine, that tobacco, the oak moss, the woods. It's such a classy, masculine, country club style scent. Great for really any time of year, because you remember, people they would buy one scent and they would wear it all year until it was done. Then they would go buy either the same one or another one. But I know the heaviness of this one, especially in the cooler weather, just works. You have a nice shirt on, nice jacket, you put some of this stuff on, you're gonna be the coolest guy in the room, and absolutely the best smelling. This is one of my all-time favorites. Polo for Men by Ralph Lauren is one of the best, simply put. Okay, guys, so we're going to get a little bonus one. I just brought this one down anyway, and it's going to be number 11. It's going to be Chanel's Platinum Egoiste, and this is one that I bought. I'm about halfway done my bottle, maybe a little bit more, maybe about 40% finished, and I got 60% left. But if you apply this lightly, and this was the mistake I made when I initially tried this in stores multiple times. I sprayed too much on my hand, but then one time I just put one spray on, and this stuff is so pleasant. The lavender, it's like a greenness to it, very fresh, barbershop, masculine, classic type of scent. Really good for cool weather. The metallic in it helps, I think, cut through the cold. And as long as you don't overdo it, then the metallicness isn't off-putting. it's actually very nice, along with the rest of the lavender and the I think there's some green notes in there as well too. I don't have the notes memorized since it's a list video, not concentrating just on one scent, but definitely one that'll be great, any time of year, but will also work really well in the cool weather. And of course, it's a Chanel, so it's going to be super high quality. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap up my list of 11 fragrances that you can wear in the wintertime here for winter 2024 going into 2025. It's a little bit of a different list. I wanted to include some newer things that I've recently purchased and of course have been wearing too. So I want to hear from all of you. Let me know in the comments section what you think of the list. What are you wearing in the wintertime? Please let me know in the comments section. You guys know I always appreciate all of the interaction. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. Check out the Instagram page, check out the Mercari page and the links for the Masudo shirts and of course the Aurelius Apparel fitness shirts. Guys, thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me today, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.